Or from O to Z. Yesterday, Ryan delivered an early home run. Jordan worked 6 strong innings. Today, the hard-hitting O's look to get out of town with 1 win, while the Nats go for their 9th straight. And for the Washington Nationals, an opportunity today to get back to the 500 mark. They've been working for that all season long. The Orioles need to salvage one before they head on to Pittsburgh. By the way, Nats 3, Orioles 2 in the season series, and Baltimore leads the all-time series 18-17. So what could be closer than that? Happy Father's Day to you, buddy.
Happy Father's Day to you.
And to all you dads out there, Jim and Mike along in a moment. Quite a run these Nationals are on, and it's really keyed by being the number 2 defense, the number 6 pitching staff in the National League, and now they have the 3rd best home record in the National League. Hard to believe.
Yeah, Bob, when we were in San Francisco, I did a number of radio shows, and I told everybody that the Nationals were a little bit of offense away from being the talk of baseball. And guess what? They've got some offense recently, and they're the talk of baseball, the hottest team in baseball right now. You see the numbers on them, and they've just been doing everything right, and all of a sudden now they're hitting. I think a big part of that is Ryan Zimmerman's back in the lineup.
Zimmerman has been back this week. The Nats haven't lost a game without him. There seems to be balance. There seems to be a bunch of relaxed hitters in that lineup. When they need a hit, they get one. When the pitchers need an out, they get one. All right, Jim and Mike, how are you going to stop these guys?
And that is the question for Buck Showalter and the Orioles, because if you look back over the past week, Mike, the one consistency with the Orioles has been their inconsistency.
Exactly right. When they seem to get good pitching, they don't get enough hitting to go along with it. And also the defense has been a problem of late. You see their average up to 267. That's pretty good average, but the runs are down per game, 3.9. And the average with runners in scoring position not very good at 1.77. The record in that time 1-6. ERA lofty, and the defense hasn't been playing that well.
And the pitching staff, they've gotten into a habit of giving up the inopportune home run. Yesterday, 4 runs, 3 came in on 2 long balls. It is Father's Day in our nation's capital. Dads and children about to enjoy Interleague Baseball, the finale of the Mid-Atlantic rivalry.
Major League Baseball on Masson, brought to you by Hyundai. Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by your local Ford dealers. Cloudy day, breeze blowing, quite comfortable to the ballpark, and a good day for a final game of this 3-game series. Visit Train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Humidity reasonable at 79 degrees. And we are expecting a possible sellout here today. They say this will be the biggest crowd of the three so far, and the first two were pretty good. So for the Orioles, who are 7th in the league in batting average, but only 10th in runs in the American League, Adam Jones having a big-time series. He's 5 out of 9 with a home run this weekend. Nick Markakis has 5 hits. Derek Lee has 7. So the Orioles have done everything but knock in the runs when they get the guys on base. Tom Gorzolani makes his return, missing 4 starts, back from the DL. First time FP he ever sees the Baltimore Ball Club.
Yeah, made his first and only rehab start with AAA Syracuse on Monday. Worked 4 innings, allowed 4 runs on 5 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 3. He gave up a home run in that rehab start. He threw 77 pitches.
Leading off, J.J. Hardy. A couple of RBIs in the series, 1 for 9. First pitch is a little bit low. .136 first pitch here. And Gorzolani pours one in there. J.J. hitting at .288. He's had good success against this left-hander. They used to be in the same division. Hardy of Milwaukee, Gorzolani of Pittsburgh. He's 9 for 23. That's a pop-up right side that looks playable for Michael Morse.
All right, Mike, you ready for the scouting report today?
I'm ready.
Gorzolani. He's about an 85 pitch count today, 5 innings or 85 to 90 pitches coming off the DL. Air attack, 74 outs in the air this year, 50 on the ground. It's the first time that's been the case since '08 for Tom. And Ferris Bueller, the Nats have day off tomorrow, and it's all hands on deck in the bullpen. This could be a bullpen game.
I guess for the Nats, Harvey Holstaff is available down there, huh?
Al Others.
Swing and a miss for Nick Markakis, who's hitting .260, and Nick's on a 9-game hitting streak. And another base hit yesterday. He's 5 out of 9 after a 4-hit night here on Friday. Gorzolani working quickly to start things off. 4-year veteran Rob Drake has the plate. The crew chief Gary Darling at first. Bruce Dreckman second base. Rookie umpire Dave Rackley at third. A 1-1 pitch. Had him reaching. Looks like an easy fly ball for Lance Nix. 2 quick outs for Tom Gorzolani.
And we talked about the air attack, 2 fly ball outs to start the game. Here's the defense behind Tom Gorzolani. Nix, Bernardino, and Worth in the outfield. Cora and Zimmerman on the left side. Espinoza and Morse on the right side. And Wilson Ramos doing the catching.
National's second best defense in baseball right now. 34 errors on the year. The Phillies have 33. And Alex Cora can play anywhere you want to plug him in on the infield. Ian Desmond has the day off today after having his 11-game hitting streak ended Saturday afternoon. Here's Adam Jones, another 5 for 9 guy in the series, but he bunts it to the pitcher. Either side, he probably gets a base hit, and the Orioles are done quickly, top of the first. clubhouse is short on shaving cream and Gatorade, that's a good sign that your ball club's going okay. Nats looking for 9 in a row. Lineup packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. And against the Orioles, Danny Espinosa is hitting .300 this year. From the left side, 199 as he will hit lefty today. And the first pitch of the game for Chris Jakubauskas. Mike will bring you up to date on him as he makes his 3rd start of the year, his 8th appearance.
Yeah, he's done a nice job coming really out of the bullpen in AAA. Really kind of nothing fancy. Fastball over the top. Kind of a high ball pitcher, not a sinker ball pitcher. Pretty good breaking stuff.
Jason Worth hitting .236 on base percentage, .337, and he's only 7 for his last 46. In this series, Worth a walk and RBI. He's 1 for 8. One-two pitch. That's a called strike that gets away from the catcher. Jason Worth standing there and striking out what appeared to be a fastball.
It's our AFCIA Intelligence Report. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros, and it'll be give me 5, and that's for Chris Jakubauskas. It's on the mound to get 5 innings or more, and that's what he has his first 2 starts. And running wild. They've been running wild in the series, really taking advantage of the Oriole pitching staff and not the catching, and 8 is enough. Hard to stop this Nationals train heading downhill at the moment, so they'll have to have a good afternoon today.
Roger Bernardina has hit safely in 9 of his last 11 games. They pinch in at the corners with Reynolds on the grass and Derek Lee even with his bag. Bernardina home 2 RBIs in the series. Going back to the St. Louis series that ended on Thursday, he had homered in 2 consecutive games. Off speed, and that's a little bit outside.
And that's a big sweeping curveball that he has. Takes a lot off of it. And he's someone that Buck Showalter really roots for. Really has been a journeyman.
Easy play there for Andino. Yeah, you're talking about a 32-year-old pitcher. He's rather short on major league experience. Only 7-8 with a 5.40 ERA over the years.
Yeah, I think Buck Showalter talks a lot about his comeback last year. Hit by a line drive in his first start of the year. Only had the 12-pitch season. Hit by a line drive. Out for the year. Really signed on with the Orioles February 1st. And I know he's used him as an example of someone that's been through the independent league, been through hard times. It has not been easy.
This may not be easy facing a suddenly hot Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, those kind of guys that paid their dues and have worked hard through injury and persevered, those are the guys that are easy to fall in love with.
Ryan 3 for 9 in the series. 2 of those hits yesterday. Homer double. And by the way, the American League, it was a little closer yesterday, but they still won 8 out of 14. And the American League in interleague play holds a 39-31 advantage over the National League going into this Sunday. 1-1 pitch. Zimmerman just waited for that ball, and he scorches it on the ground to the left of Adam Jones. He's going for 2, and they're going to get him. Ryan told me after the game yesterday when he hit that double and decided not to go to third that he was not pulling up because of the injury. He said, I'll be aggressive when I have to. He thought he could make it, and Adam Jones with that great arm guns him down.
Check out that last play to end the bottom of the first. Ryan Zimmerman did a nice job of staying back on the curveball, hitting it the other way. All of a sudden, with 2 outs, you're thinking double. You want to get into scoring position. Adam Jones decides to play that ball in a hop, and what he did right there was set a trap. Ryan Zimmerman, a little hesitation coming around first base, but he was going hard out of the box. That's just a great throw and a great arm right on the money. Nothing you could do about that. Good gamble, but a great throw by Adam Jones.
First base hit of the ball game, and again, Zimmerman, as you say, FP, staying on the ball and hitting it hard the other way.
Yeah, good swing, and I think the little hesitation was if you're rounding first base, you're seeing how far that ball is going to kick away from the outfielder before you make the decision to go to second base. So just trickled enough away to where Ryan thought, I got to go to second on this, and it was just a great throw. You got to tip your cap on a throw like that.
And you can see in the replay, there was a little bounce, and they grabbed it bare hand. I mean, that could have really been disastrous if he didn't catch it cleanly. And I think the thing with Adam Jones, too, I think he gets assists, you know, not because he's a poor outfielder. You see a lot of outfielders that'll get assists because they try to run and take advantage of him. With Adam Jones and certainly Markakis and right, they get assists because they surprise the runners.
Well, that was going away from the play. Spin, pick up your target, one hop seed. Hang with him if you're Ryan Zimmerman.
Derek Lee, and over to get it, Bernardina, and he can't hold on. Another interesting play in right center. It looked like Roger Bernardina was going to put that ball away. He got to it, got the glove on it. It'll be a base hit for Derek Lee, who's now 8 for 10 in this series.
It seems like a carbon copy of the play with Adam Jones. Line drive, bullet up the middle. Bernardina looks like he has it measured and just goes in and out of the glove. And I think with recent history, Derek Lee just decides to stay at first base, not press the issue.
Well, you almost knew it was going to fall. The way Derek Lee's going right now, great effort by Roger Bernardina, but when you're hot, that ball doesn't stick in the glove.
There's Nolan Reimold, 1 for 1 in the series. Had a base hit as a pinch hitter yesterday. That was in the 7th inning. Set up the Orioles' second run of the day. Orsolani takes a long look at Lee and delivers one on the inside half of the plate, 1-1. Ground ball left side. Zimmerman. Espinosa. Ryan throws it away. Easy double play ball. And that'll be Ryan Zimmerman's second error of the year. And we've been watching him throw the ball this week. It has been rather unusual.
He's been out early every single day this homestand, working on his throwing, getting in the right position. That's one where he just got a little too much under it and launched it. Maybe he had a hair longer to throw that ball. I don't think Derek Lee was in the picture yet.
Well, that's the hard part of certainly the injury that he's had. It's affected his throwing so much. You know, just like hitting it, it's timing throwing a baseball. When he tries to be quick, it'll take off. A lot of times you try to make up for lack of velocity sometimes with, you know, adding it or getting rid of it more quickly.
That's a strike to Mark Reynolds.
That's a good point. You know, he doesn't have the cannon right now, so maybe tried to get rid of it a tick sooner than he normally would because he doesn't have the velocity that he normally has. You rush it, you throw it, and it tends to sail on you.
Big opportunity now for one of the Orioles' big leadoff guys with 35. And by the way, Ryan Zimmerman made 17 errors last year. Probably 10 of those or more were on throws. He very seldom ever makes a glove mistake. 1-1 strike. Reynolds a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. He struck out yesterday in a very key point in the ball game for the Orioles. They had first and third, 1 out in the 4th in a 1-1 game.
And a changeup right there from Gorzolani. If I'm Ryan Zimmerman right now at third base, I want Mark Reynolds to hit me the ball. I want another ground ball as soon as possible, seal the deal, make a good throw, and get it all over with.
Order online at papajohns.com. They brought us the pitch track there. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. 2-2. Gorzolani, of course, not a strikeout pitcher. Coming into the game, actually coming into this inning, 54 innings, 48 strikeouts, which is more than we thought he would have. At times, his stuff has been good enough to get the swings and misses, but this is usually a contact situation for him. Little bouncer to Zimmerman. Fair ball. He'll hold it. Bases loaded, nobody out. Really nothing for Derek Lee to do coming down that line right with the third baseman.
Yeah, just track right along with him. Well, you got your wish. If he had a chance, but it was a really no chance. Those toppers, and we've seen plenty of them.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to hang on to that one. And you watch Derek Lee at third base. You just follow the third baseman down.
The only thing I was going to say is I thought he should have let it go. He had that sideways spin that you get off those choppers, and even from that last camera angle you saw, I thought the ball was going to go foul.
Craig Tatum has had 15 at-bats this year for the Orioles. Backup catcher, 1 RBI in 6 games. Nationals are at double play depth, and they get a double play ball. That's Cora, Espinosa to Morris, a 6-4-3. Orioles take the lead as Washington gets its second double play opportunity of the inning.
Yeah, good damage control right there from Tom Gorzolani, inducing the ground ball. You got Alex Cora playing shortstop today. You get the grounder, get a couple outs, you trade it for a run. When you got bases loaded, nobody outs, the Nats will definitely take that.
Any runs in this inning will be unearned because of that Zimmerman error. Here's Robert Andino. And of course, that number 8 situation shows up again here early in the ball game with a pitcher on deck with basically no major league hitting experience.
And Mike, you got a scouting report on Jacobossis and his hitting ability?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you so they don't hear, but he's probably our best hitting pitcher.
Andino will go for a 2-0 pitch to Espinosa. All things considered, good job by Tom Gorzolani. The Orioles on top in the second. League Baseball on Masson, brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine, and by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Hey, it's not that hot today. Some wings would be good on this Sunday afternoon. 79 degrees at game time. Vladimir Guerrero, former Expo, the subject of our Luna second inning feature on the Expo's all-time ranks. And of course, that is now this organization. Maybe Ryan Zimmerman will be busting some of these records in the years to come.
What people don't realize is I'm right behind him in all those stats.
How far?
Pretty far.
70% off all flooring at Luna. Shop smart. Shop Luna. 877-241-LUNA. Bottom of the second. Lance Nix, first at bat of the series. The Orioles have been showing the Nats left-handers, and Lance just hasn't played. When he plays, he does damage. Off-speed pitch had him reaching. Is a very aggressive hitter. And if you get ahead of Lance Nix, you can take advantage of that. Had a big home run here Thursday night to help the Nats beat St. Louis 7-4. Here's Michael Morse. We did notice that his table at the gala last night was one of the busiest in terms of autograph seekers, along with Pudge and Worth and Levon. Folks are on to what Michael Morse is doing here in our nation's capital.
I mean, he's so hot, he was even getting hits in his tuxedo last night.
2 for 6 with a homer, 2 RBIs, pair of walks. Look at that, 6 games in a row on base at least twice. Didn't have a hit Friday night, but the Orioles gave him 2 free passes. And he checks in at .310, which is 1 point out of the top 10 in National League batting average. That's well inside.
Well, when you're hot, you can see that's a good take on his part. But Jakubowski's stuff is just, he just moves around very quietly, gets you out. He's not one of those overpowering type pitchers.
Morse was ripping. Not many right-handed hitters in the history of this park have stayed on a ball FP long enough to hit it into the opposite bullpen.
Yeah, you see where Weeder's set up, down and in, see where the pitch is, up and away. And when you're going good, you hit mistakes. You hit every mistake you see, and Michael Morse has done that and just that since May 1st, leading all of baseball in slugging percentage.
Michael was surprised when I told him about that last night. The first one that was ever hit over there was, I think, 3 years ago. Will Nieves, a walk-off 9th inning homer against the Cubs. Will Nieves, of all people, first career home run. There haven't been more than maybe 2 other right-handers that have put a ball in there because it's right down the line. 3-2 with 1 out. Morse on a pitch up and in, can't get it. Second strikeout for Jakubowskis. Maryland Lottery double play contestant of the game, Cheryl Priller from Glen Burnie. For every double play the Orioles turn, Cheryl wins $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. Turn double plays into cash, enter to win. Go to mdlottery.com/double play. Here's Danny Espinosa. .32-year-old pitcher Mike Flanagan throwing lots of strikes here to start the game.
Yeah, lots of strikes. He pitch up in the strike zone, fastball, big curveball, has a changeup, and he is really fearless. You know, you think I guess the trials and tribulations that he's been through the last few years would be somewhat maybe pressing or trying a little bit too hard, but it hasn't been the case. He has really kind of settled into this role once given the opportunity. When you think about it, in 03, 04, 05, 06, and 07 was in those independent leagues, so playing for different teams.
I'm sure the hotels are luxurious and the charter planes are plush, huh?
And that plush and the meal allowance and what else we say, the lights, probably your teammates and all the rest. But he's played for the Florence Freedom and the Frontier League, the Ohio Valley Redcoats.
Sharply hit by Espinosa, well picked by Andino. And 6 batters in the first 2 innings for Jakubowskis on Father's Day. Yeah, dads are carrying the load once more today. Nice going, Dad. 23rd coming up. And Tuesday night's coming up. The Seattle Mariners are coming to town, and it'll be $1 Dog Night. Nationals.com/tickets while supplies last. I don't know how many hot dogs they're going to put on the grill, but bring a couple of bucks and you walk away with a couple of dogs. That'll be a lot of fun. My favorite ballpark food, and it'll be a lot of fun here on Tuesday night. Nats have done some very creative things to get folks in the park on Tuesday nights. We've had the $2 tickets. Full house today for the O's and the Nats. Baltimore on top, 1-0. We go top third with Jakubowski's leading off. All right, Mike. Can he hack?
Yes, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but I just know his background. And certainly talking with Buck Showalter today, he was mostly a first baseman in the outfield, and even college. He played for the University of Oklahoma and played 1 year at Cal State Fullerton. And even when he signed with the Independent League, he started off as a first baseman since making the transition about 7 years ago.
How does a first baseman get noticed for his arm to become a pitcher? That's really interesting.
I mean, if you just turn on the broadcast and you don't know that he's a pitcher, just looking at him right there, he looks like a big, tall country first baseman up there ready to go yard.
They're going to respect him and set a target away here. He takes a big-time hack. That's one of the few foul balls in this ballpark we've ever seen that actually makes it to our eye level before it falls down about 50 feet in front of us.
Yeah, I stopped paying attention to foul balls the other day when you told me that one only went to about the third floor.
Yeah. Danny Espinosa gets behind that one. Tom Gorzolani registering some serious ground ball outs now, 5 of them in the game. And that's with one double play that wasn't turned at all. Back to the top of the order now for the Orioles with J.J. Hardy and Nick Markakis. Gorzolani career record 38-41. He was 7-9 with 23 starts for the Cubs last year. And he's 2-4, making his 10th start for the Nationals with an ERA of 4.25. He has gone 6 innings just 3 times this year. 7 innings a couple of times. And he went 8 really good innings against the Giants May 2nd in a 2-0 win. This ball hammered by Hardy. It is not coming back. 2-0 Baltimore. Gorzolani has given up lots of home runs this year. That's the 12th he's given up. And for Hardy, his 8th.
Well, the Orioles like this matchup. J.J. Hardy with a lot of at-bats against Gorzolani. This one up and out over the plate to dead center field. They say that's where the big boys go.
You see where the ball lands. I'm pretty sure he gets a free game in miniature golf with this. It rolls down the hole right there, and that ball was crushed.
Second career homer for him against Gorzolani, his 4th career RBI, and he's now 10 for 25, batting .400 against this pitcher in his career. As mentioned earlier, they knew each other from the National League Central. Hardy, Milwaukee, Gorzolani, Pittsburgh. Up and into Markakis, and it's 1 ball 1 strike with Nick swinging through that one. Orioles with their 68th homer of the year. They're 6th in the American League in that category. The Nationals have hit 66, and they're also 6th in their league. You know what? These two ball clubs do a lot of solo home runs. You look at the home runs to the runs scored, and something doesn't compute for the most part. I think it was, other than Danny Espinosa, nobody hit anything but solo home runs for the Nationals the first month of the season.
Well, they're hitting them, and that's the key. And when you talk about the Nationals, they have 4 guys with double-digit home runs. There's only 2 other teams that have that, the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. So, you know, Espinosa with 13, Morse with 12, Nix with 10, and Worth with 10. Well, at least they're hitting the ball out of the yard.
More so than we might have expected. Orioles leader today is Mark Reynolds with 12. Adam Jones has 10. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gorzolani left one up on the inside corner. He's missing on some location right now. Worth bobbles, and now that's going to be another Washington error. 2 routine plays booted by the Nationals here. Zimmerman the double play ball, and Worth what should have been a very simple pickup.
Now Radio tries to backhand it. Nancy Tools will take it out of the glove, just mishandles. Markakis holds up, then sees the bobble, and he's off. Restarts.
I think Worth might have overran that ball a little bit. Probably didn't need to go to the backhand. Went to the backhand. The ball kind of came back toward him a little bit. If he fields that the conventional way, I think the ball sticks in his glove.
Runner at second base, 1 out. Orioles have already scored 1 unearned run today. I don't think Adam Jones is bunting this time. We were all puzzled by his decision to do that. 2 outs, bases empty.
That's a cross-up right there.
And the runner looking in from second base. Obviously, Ramos not expecting a breaking ball.
One thing you want to be, certainly if you're the catcher, is to know what's coming.
Well, better to be expecting a fastball and get a curve than expecting a curve and getting a fastball.
It usually works. It usually hits the umpire in the forehead.
Yeah.
You know, it goes right by the catcher when it's the other way. The thing is, I've been so impressed about the Nationals, been their defense. They had a long run without making an error. The Orioles just broke their string. They had to run a string of 7 straight games with an error till yesterday.
Danny Espinosa made an error in the 9th inning on Thursday night. The Nats had gone 130 2/3 innings without an error. Now they've made him in consecutive innings here. 2-0, danger count. And Gorzelani may not want a whole lot to do here with Adam Jones, but what's he going to do about what's on deck?
Well, that's the thing Buck Showalter's done this afternoon. We've talked a lot about the hitters, the 3 hitters, Markakis, Jones, and Derek Lee. He moved Lee into the 4th spot, so you have those 3 right in a row today. It's the first time that Derek Lee has hit cleanup all year. Place usually held by Vladimir Guerrero.
Well, with Guerrero sitting out, no DH, why not have a guy red hot right behind your number 3 man? That's a walk and a wild pitch.
And just some sloppy baseball right now from a team that's played Trump tight baseball for over a month.
Let's have a look at our league leaders, brought to you by Lexus of Towson, Baltimore area's #1 Lexus dealer, who invites you to come see why they're #1. Highest career batting average against the national starter today. J.J. Hardy is 1 for 2 with a homer. Derek Lee has a base hit, and now he is smelling another one with 2 runners on, 1 out here in the 3rd.
A lot of times you can't tell when the important at-bats in the game are going to come. Are they going to be in the 7th inning or the 8th inning? I think this one's a pretty important one here, even though we're only in the 3rd. The Orioles have had plenty of hits in the series. They had 18 in game 1, 8 yesterday in a loss, so 26 there. They already have 5 on the board, so 31 hits in the series, and we're down 0-2.
31 hits in 21 innings. Lee scorched one to right center first time.
And I'll say this about the play so far today from the Nationals. When you win 8 games in a row, I don't think people realize the intensity and the focus it takes to win those games all in a row. And usually when a streak ends, it's not pretty. Not that it's going to end today, but based on experience, when they do end, you know, usually it's one of those days where you just
not on a 2-1 game.
You can't focus. I mean, it takes so much focus, so much intensity. You know, so much desire to win that many games in a row. A lot of them been in walk-off fashion late in the game to where, you know, all of a sudden it's hard to do that every single day.
1 ball, 1 strike. Long look at the first base runner. Lee fouls it back. And of course, when you have a number 5 starter coming off the DL, that's working against you as well. He's out there trying to get his feel back after missing 4 starts.
And if he's on that 85 pitch count, he's about halfway there. Well, he is halfway there.
And as FP mentioned, there's a day off tomorrow, so if they have to go to the bullpen 4th, 5th, 6th inning, they'll be ready. Big spot now, 1-2, and that's way inside. He might try to get Derek Lee to chase twice here, and if you walk him, you walk him. Nolan Reimold, not Derek Lee at the moment. Who is? Up the middle. Espinosa, Cora, a very pretty 4-6-3. Derek Lee continues to hit the ball hard, but the Nats had him played well, and the damage limited to the Hardy home run. Jim Hunter on the way, 2-0 Orioles.
Bottom of the third, but it could have been a lot worse if not for a couple of double play balls. And welcome into the booth, Jim Hunter, FP Santangelo, Mike Flanagan. Happy Father's Day, guys.
Happy Father's Day.
And uncharacteristic of the Nationals, they've been playing so consistently well over the stretch. 2 big errors in this game.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that in a long time. So, you know, a little lapse in concentration right now, and a lot of ball game left, though. Gorzolani's got some clutch ground balls when you need them the most.
And Chris Jakubowski's making the spot start today. He's going right at those Nationals hitters. Yes, they're hot. Challenge them, make them put them in play.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of has that type of sleeper hold, I would say, on him, that he just kind of lulls you to sleep. Nice, easy control, nothing fancy. Just keeps throwing strikes.
He has faced only 6 batters, 1 base hit. Zimmerman was out trying to stretch. So the lower third of the lineup, it'll be Ramos, Gorzolani, and then Alex Cora as Jim Riggleman continues to put his pitcher in the number 8 spot during this winning streak. And Ramos fouls it back. There's Gorzolani on deck. Jakubowskis last worked on Tuesday in Toronto, and he lasted just 5 1/3 innings. And following the game, he talked about how unpleased he was because he walked 4 batters in that game. His command today, Mike, appears to be a lot better.
Yeah, a lot smoother. Nice, easy delivery, under control. You know, 88 to 90 miles an hour, pretty easy fastball. But throwing, I think the big thing for him is getting that breaking ball over when he does throw it. And really, with any pitcher, getting ahead. To get ahead, you get the hitters to expand, and he likes to throw that little high riding fastball.
He's ahead of Ramos, 0-2. And he chased off speed pitch down and away. So Ramos down, a strikeout in each inning, 3 for the game, and 1 away in the third.
This is what he does. He gets ahead of you 0-2. That big sweeping breaking ball in and then out of the strike zone. And good block by Tatum behind the plate.
And the Nationals pitch track brought to you by Kinetic North America, providing world-class technology to our national and homeland security customers. And the pitch taken high, 1-0. Gorzolani on the year is 0 for 17 with 9 strikeouts.
It's a hard 0 for 17, though.
A lot of line drives to the catcher.
You know, I just keep hitting it at guys. He does have an RBI, though, on the year. Slices it the other way. A long run for Reimold. And he won't get there. It's back out of play with this big crowd on hand on Father's Day. A lot of red, a lot of orange, and a lot of dads with their kids. I don't think there's a better way to spend a Father's Day than at the ball game.
Agreed.
And then go home and have a catch. 2-2 as Gorzalani lets it go by. And the last thing Jakubowski wants to do is go to a 3-ball count on the pitcher. And he got him. Swung through it, so back-to-back Ks and 2 away. Jakubowski has 1 win on the year. And now a look at our PNC minor league report. Solutions that help you achieve your financial goals. PNC for the achiever in you. South Atlantic League All-Star Game will be held in Salisbury, where the Delmarva Shorebirds call home. The Orioles affiliate in that league. Hagerstown in that league as well. And here are the All-Stars that will appear from the 2 different teams. And Brian Daubach, who was the manager of Hagerstown, the Nationals affiliate, he'll be the manager for that game. And of course, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper will attract most of the attention at that game. And that will be, in fact, Manny Machado's last game in the South Atlantic League, because after he plays in the All-Star game, he's being promoted to Frederick. And you wonder how much longer Bryce Harper will be in that league. Alex Cora takes 1-2 the count. Cora, his first look in this series, facing the right-hander Jakubowski. Or as we like to call him, Chris.
Chris Jack. Or...
You know, there haven't been that many prominent major leaguers that you really had on a first-name basis. You know, there's Cal.
Eddie.
Ichiro, because he wears it on his back. He's the only major leaguer with his first name on his back.
There's some guys, they have such good nicknames, you don't even know the real name. You play with them for 6 months, and they have the perfect nickname.
Most of the time, they were ripping the letters off the back of my shirt.
2 outs, none on, 1-2 on Cora. And there's a ball line past the diving shortstop Hardy. There's a 2-out base hit. That one hung a little bit, and he got the barrel on it. And he's on with a 2-out single.
Well, Jakubowski has done a nice job. That's just the second ball hit out of the infield. It was the Zimmerman BB in the first inning, and now this clean single by Cora. Everything else, strikeouts or little ground balls.
And Alex Cora all year long has been so good with 2 strikes. Very simple approach right there. Not a whole lot to it. Just standing tall and dropping the head on the baseball. Good swing.
Jason Worth now. He was called out on strikes his first at bat, fooled by the pitch. Jakubowski from the stretch. And it's high. In fact, this is the first time today he's pitching from the stretch. The base hit by Zimmerman when he was out trying to stretch ended the first inning. Jason Worth in a 7-for-47 drought. And what Jakubowski is going to try to do today is keep the Nats in the ballpark. They have hit 9 home runs in the 5 games against the Orioles. Go to first. Cora was leaning. With all the stolen bases in this series, the Nats have moved up 1 spot. They're now 3rd in the National League with 62 stolen bases.
And Mike, you were talking to Buck Showalter today before the game, and he said he's going to try to control the Nats running game today a little more than he has the first couple of games of the series.
Yeah, he really said that Julie had handed off to one of the coaches, and he said he really haven't put a lot of thought about calling the throwovers himself. He's not a big believer in a lot of the more, I guess, traditional hold it and step off and delaying tactics. He likes nice, clean, quick time to the plate, nice, accurate throws to first when a throw is needed. I also think sometimes, you know, if you have a poor pickoff move, you don't want to show the runner at first that you have a poor pickoff move. But yeah, I look for a little bit more attention to the running game.
Swing and a miss by Jason Worth.
And that really is just something you divide your attention. I think that's what's hard for sometimes young players. You know, you check that runner, make sure he's stopped, he's not getting a walking lead. And then once you're confident or comfortable with that, then you make your delivery to plate.
But if your focus is more on the runner than the pitch you're about to make, you can get in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. You have to divide it.
Cora doesn't go. The 2-1 is a breaking ball for a strike. 2-2. Buck Showalter is the first manager in my 15 seasons with the Orioles who pays as much attention, and we're going to look at this pitch, good breaking ball, to the time it takes the pitcher to get the ball to the catcher. He brings it up regularly, and each day when he gets the minor league reports, he wants to know how quick or how slow the pitchers are to the plate. He wants it throughout the whole system. Fastball side, where the prospects who are developing understand up here you got to be quick.
Well, as much as learning a changeup or a slide step and some of these other features, that's an important part of your development. And if you can't hold runners at the major league level, believe me, teams will find out quickly. I can remember Arthur Rhodes when he first came up was a starter, and he really could not hold runners at all and ended up in the bullpen because he never could get the hang of it and went to a slide step and had a fine career, but he probably could never be a starter.
Cora goes on the 3-2, but Worth swings through a slow curveball. Jakubowski strikes out the side, a base hit, a man left. We'll head to the fourth, and the Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Orioles with a 2-0 lead on 4 hits. Gorzolani has allowed an earned run and an unearned run, and Jakubowski 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. And J.J. Hardy, the big blow in the 3rd inning, 1 out, none on to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Yeah, fastball up and out over the plate, and he hammers it, and he has good numbers coming in. And when you get the head drop from the pitcher, you have a pretty good idea it was crushed.
2 big double plays, though, thrown by Gorzolani has prevented the Orioles from adding to their lead. Those add-on runs have been so tough to come by for the Orioles. Reimold, Reynolds, Tatum in the 4th. And Nolan takes a strike. Reimold had a pinch hit in the game yesterday to snap an 0 for 15. Pops it up shallow right. Tough play. There goes Espinosa. Here comes Worth, and Worth gets there and calls him off. Good hustle there by Jason Worth. 1 away in the Oriole 4th. Fans, when the Orioles get back to Camden Yards on Friday, don't miss the season's first fireworks night. You can gather up your family and friends and celebrate this Birdland summer tradition, enjoying a beautiful fireworks show after the game when the Orioles take on Cincinnati at 7:05 in Interleague Baseball. Get your tickets in advance and save by calling 888-848-BIRD or go online at Orioles.com. Showalter and the Birds head to Pittsburgh after the game today and then back home for 6 straight interleague games against the Reds and then the Cardinals, which means an Albert Pujols sighting, not in Washington but in Baltimore. Looking forward to seeing him up close and personal.
I don't believe the Cardinals have ever been to Camden Yards.
I recall one time in an exhibition game the day before the season. One of those deals where they were flying where they were going to open the season and stopped off at Camden Yards. But that one doesn't count, so.
So it's like a tree falling in the woods, yeah. Right?
I did hear that tree, by the way. Reynolds in infield at his first at-bat. It was a swinging bunt, which you don't get very often off his bat. He's now got a 4-game hitting streak going and really doing a good job in June. Both he and Hardy. Hardy now has 6 home runs in June and Reynolds has 5. Bounce down the line. There's a fair ball past the dive of Zimmerman. Reynolds makes the turn. He'll head to second base. So the Orioles have a double and a runner in scoring position in the fourth inning. Reynolds 2 out of 2, his 10th multi-hit game on the year.
And that's the thing with Reynolds and hitting against left-handed pitching. He doesn't really waste his time hitting singles. He had 10 hits coming into today against left-handed pitching. 4 were homers, 3 were doubles. Now we can add 1 more to it. So 8 of his 11 hits have been extra bases against lefties.
The Orioles remain at the bottom in the extra base hits. They had the fewest doubles and the fewest triples in the American League coming into this game today, and Reynolds adding to that double column. Here's Craig Tatum. Line drive pulled foul. As we get some light rain now falling in our nation's capital. Tatum getting the start. Wieters caught yesterday's day game after the Friday night game, so Matt, at least for the early part of the game, taking off. Tatum's got a 2-game hitting streak going. And it's outside. It doesn't look threatening in the distance, but there must be a big old rain cloud right over the stadium. Because all of a sudden it is coming down. 1-1 grounded towards the middle. There's a base hit for Tatum. Reynolds off quickly, rounding third. He'll come to the plate. No throw. And an RBI single by Tatum adds to the lead. The Orioles lead the Nats 3-0. So Tatum extends his hitting streak and a clutch base hit to get the run in with a runner in scoring
they put
position.
a lot of pressure on every inning. And Craig Tatum, pretty good pitch, down and away, right back up the middle, not trying to do too much. Clean single to center. And the hit parade keeps on going. That's the 6th hit today.
So Tatum picks up his 2nd RBI since coming up from AAA, and here's Andino taking strike 1. Andino grounded out his first at bat. He's 2 for 8 in the series. And I wonder how long Gary Darling will allow this to go before play stops.
Oh, you go a while in this.
I was going to say, the ground screw really usually has a great handle on it. All the modern technology, and obviously the way they're playing it, just maybe an isolated quick shower.
Although it just picked up a notch right when I said
it's
that.
It's just like I said, it's quite the typhoon to head in.
0-1 is high.
I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for quite a while. Wow, it is bringing it all of a sudden.
And there's no movement by the ground screw by the tarpaulin. Here's the 1-1 ground ball towards short. Could be 2 again. There's Cora's second one. Espinosa back to first. The 3rd double play the Orioles have hit into in this game. Birds get a run, none left. Mid-4, 3-0 Orioles. is the Geico President's Race on Father's Day. Would Teddy win on Father's Day for his first win ever? Abe Lincoln out in front with Thomas Jefferson. And Teddy has the lead coming down the stretch. Come on, Teddy. Get in there. Win it. Win it on Father's Day. Oh, he's fading. And Thomas Jefferson pulling ahead. Not even a photo finish. Thomas Jefferson winning the President's Race, the Geico President's Race on Father's Day.
How's the father of our country not win on Father's Day?
Well, he did win yesterday. That's a good point, though. For the visiting teams coming to Washington, it's really nice to be able to walk around and see some of the sights. My wife Bonnie and I last night after dinner took a walk, went over to the White House, and it's just so fascinating. It's an awe-inspiring building, understanding what that stands for and the freedoms that we enjoy. It was just fabulous just to stand there and hang out in the atmosphere by the White House.
I've done that a couple of times, and tomorrow the Nationals have a trip set up to tour the White House.
Oh,
so my kids
awesome.
are in town. We're very excited about it. It'll be the first time for us to be inside the White House.
Bernardino bunt attempt, and it goes foul. Yeah, it was interesting seeing a lot of tourists over there. Of course, summer, kids are on vacation from school. Even a couple of protesters over there, but you know what? That's okay, because they're allowed to do that in this country.
Are you in that line?
No. I was
just checking.
Incognito.
Nothing wrong with that.
Bernardino grounded out his first at-bat. There's a bouncer past Reynolds, deep short. Hardy will have to hurry, and he won't get him. Bernardino too fast, has an infield hit.
See, if you look up right there, I know it's thinking quick on your feet, but when the second baseman's backing up the throw, the shortstop goes in the hole. If Roger Bernardino beats that throw out, puts the brakes on, and takes a left, there's nobody at second base. It's something you don't think about, right? Because you're just thinking about, I'm smelling a knock right here, I'm beating it out, but you see which way J.J. Hardy's going. You see Andino backing up the play at first base. There is nobody at second base. I've seen guys do this before, but you got to really think about it. It's a great job of Roger Bernardino. Anytime he makes the shortstop go to his right, it's a base hit. It's automatic.
First time in this game, Nats get the leadoff man on. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, who singled his first at-bat, was thrown out by Adam Jones trying to stretch. And then a toss to first will chase Bernardino, who was a perfect 10 out of 10 in stolen base attempts. So the Orioles have left 2 men on and 4 at-bats. Rosalani has benefited from 3 double play balls. The Nats have left just 1 on through their first 3 at-bats. Which is up and in, oohs and ahs from the fans.
Well, this is where, if you're a Nats fan, you're thinking quick strike. Ryan Zimmerman hit a home run yesterday. He's got his swing back, seeing the ball big, down by 3 runs, 4th inning.
Bernardino bluffs going. Zimmerman takes a strike. Tatum's throw not in time. They hit Bernardino.
Yeah, as hot as Zimmerman is, and sort of the weight, I think it's kind of compromising as a pitcher, but I would just stay away from him, let him hit the ball to the opposite field, make him try to beat me that way. He's just swinging so well.
Bernardino extends the lead by a step. Doesn't go. Pitch is popped up shallow right. Easy play from Markakis. Zimmerman's down for the first out in the 4th inning. Time for our AT&T Trivia Fact of the Day. Buck Showalter was the 1994 American League Manager of the Year in his first stint as a Major League Manager, and more on that. So you can ponder where we're going with this. 1994. Here's Lance Nix, who grounded out to first his first at-bat, his first appearance in this series.
You know, I think Buck being on TV, that was good for him, because as a guy that played against Buck when he was managing the Diamondbacks, you see him over there, you see a stern guy, you don't know a whole lot about his personality. But to see him on TV and to see how much he actually knows about the game of baseball and to see his personality come through a little bit, you know, that helped me to realize what a good guy Buck Showalter is.
Tim Kirkjian from ESPN, who's around Baltimore a lot, former beat writer of the Orioles. And I think he knows as much about baseball as anyone around the game, player, coach, manager, journalist. Tim knows it. He's told us that when he did that show with Buck, he learned every night something from Buck Showalter that he hadn't thought of.
And that's, saying a lot, because guys that have been in the game their whole life, a guy like Mike, a guy like myself, when you turn on TV and there's a guy there that's teaching you things, and you get to see a little bit of his personality, I thought that was great, for everybody watching that every single night to see the real Buck Showalter.
The thing about Buck that amazes me, and we've been around him now since early August of last year, when you talk to him and ask him questions, he always seems to be one step ahead of you, even though he doesn't know what you're going to ask yet. Which that's an amazing talent to be one step ahead before you even know the question.
I guess what I like about him too is at the same time, he'll ask you questions. And certainly if you've been around, so they've been around the ball club.
And Dino makes the stop, goes to second for one. That's all they'll get, but they keep the runner out of scoring position. And Dino in this game has made 2 fine plays.
Again, not trying to do too much. It's a pretty good feed from Mandino. Looks like he's headed towards right field. Gets to his feet and then just makes that accurate throw. You see Hardy just playing for the one.
Yeah, that's the part I like about that play. Great play by Andino, but the veteran shortstop knowing, hey, we're up by 3 runs. I'm not going to try to do anything spectacular here, risk dropping that baseball. I'll just turn into a first baseman, stretch, get the force out, and move on to the next guy.
Yeah, but every ground ball with a man on first is not a double play grounder.
And here's the red-hot Michael Morse, who struck out his first at-bat, one of 5 Ks for Jakabauskas. Fastball too tight. Michael Morse has that eye black going today on the glare. Lays off high 2-0, and you can see how well he's going now to recognize the pitch and just let it go by. That was a good take.
Yeah, when you're locked in, you find yourself in hitters' counts all the time. And we talked about it a little bit in yesterday's broadcast. And when you're going bad, you just might as well walk up there and put 0-2 on the scoreboard.
Jakabauskas has slowed his pace down here this inning, and this is inside, ball 3.
It really is in great position pitch count wise. That's just 56 for 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. And he really sort of controlled the pace of the game. Nice smooth pace, nothing too quick, nothing too slow.
There's a strike. Morse taken all the way. Waiting on deck is Danny Espinosa. A home run threat, so for Jakabauskas, he'll try to end this inning here and not allow Espinosa up as the tying run. He slipped a little bit, still got it in there for a foul ball. Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races, National League leaders, and since May the 1st, Michael Morse, 3rd in average, 1st in slugging percentage, OPS, and at-bats per home runs, a home run every 10.75. Action-packed table games and red-hot slots await at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races.
So if he's hitting a home run every 10 at-bats, he hit one yesterday, Jakabauskas is fine right here. Just throw it right down the middle.
I like your logic.
Spoken from the Nats' perspective.
Yeah, it can't hurt you. He homers every 10 at-bats.
Well, he just counted up. Okay, he's gone 9 at-bats. Okay.
Yeah, he's only had 3 at-bats, I think, since his home run yesterday or 2. Throw it right down the middle. He can't hurt you.
In each at-bat today, Morse has gone to a 3-2 count. He swung through strike 3 his first at-bat. Nix will be off with the pitch. Full count, 2 down. And it's bounced towards third, and past Reynolds took a weird hop. Running it down is Reimold. Nix will be sent. He's heading home, and on at second base with a double is Michael Morse. So the Nats get on the board, the crowd back in the game, and it's
And that might be the lift the Nationals were looking for in this baseball game. 3-2 pitch, down in the zone, probably ball 4, but when you're locked in like Michael Morse, swing away. And Mark Reynolds gets caught in between right there. Lance Nick's running all the way. As soon as that ball got down the corner, you knew it was a run for the Nationals. Stay hot, Michael Morse.
Yeah, it looked like he misread the hop, didn't it?
He just got caught in between. That's what we used to call third base no man's land. Once that ball takes that hop and it gets a little bit too close to you, if you don't give with that, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Espinosa takes a breaking ball for a strike. So 2 hits in the inning, and the double drives in the first run for the Nats. Espinosa is another of the many hot hitters in this lineup. Fouls it back. He's down 0-2. 10 for his last 24.
And that play Andino made turns out to be huge. Going in the hole, taking a hit away from Lance Nix. A couple more runs on the board for the Nats if he doesn't make that play.
Jacobowskis asking Tatum to go through the signs again. And he finds one he likes. And a 0-2 pitch to Danny Espinosa. Is pulled down the line, and that's a fair ball, a base hit. Morse will score. Espinosa heading to second base. Markakis plays it back in. It is back-to-back RBI doubles for the Nationals, and it's a 1-run game. What a swing he put on an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, Mike, maybe you can talk about it. Not the best 0-2 pitch in the world.
Yeah, he's been getting using that breaking ball to finish off a lot of hitters, but this one fastball on the inside part. Yeah, just a couple feet there down that right field line. But probably too much of the play when you have that kind of lead in the count.
And Danny Espinosa's fired up. Pulled his hands in. Double spotlights back to the bench. Not just one, but 2. And these guys just have that feeling. I mean, you've won 8 games in a row. You feel like you're in every single baseball game. Doesn't matter what the score is. It's just a matter of time before you mount your comeback.
Yeah, it kept the Nationals off the board the first few innings of this game. But you had the feeling once they break through, now it's time to get off the ropes. Need it. And out right here.
And Mike, we've both been on the other side of that. When you've lost the first 2 games in a series and all of a sudden you have a 3-run lead, the other team starts pressing a little bit and you're like, oh, here they come.
You're exactly right. A lot of times you go, yep, here it comes.
Yeah, and the 3 double plays helping out Gorzelani tremendously. Orioles hitting into double plays in each of their last 3 at-bats. Gorzelani doing a good job. Wilson Ramos will be walked intentionally following the Rick Adair visit to the mound because the pitcher is on deck.
How quickly it changes. Really, Jacobowskis actually faced 1 hitter over the minimum through the first 3.
And when Gorzelani comes up, he'll be the 7th batter this inning.
And Gorzelani with 59 pitches. This is a point in the game where if you're Jim Riggleman, you have a guy coming off the DL. He's had 1 rehab start. I know he has an 85 pitch count. Nobody up in the Nats bullpen right now. I wonder if he's thinking about pinch hitting for Gorzelani. I don't see anybody stirring in the dugout. Nobody up in the bullpen. So this is all Tom Gorzelani, the big part of the ball game here in the 4th inning.
I think it's why it's so much more difficult for a National League manager. The American League with a designated hitter, you have to make those calls. And it really is not about how well your pitcher is pitching, but the scoreboard. The scoreboard dictates a lot. I know Buck Showalter's talked a lot about it.
And those numbers you just saw are showing here as Bernardino, Morse, and Espinosa each with base hits, their 2nd time against Jacobowskis in this game.
And the only reason I even entertain the thought is because he's on a pitch count today. And generally speaking, National League game, 4th inning, your pitcher's going to hit pretty much in every situation. But if Gorzelani's in for a short outing today because of the sore elbow and coming off the DL, maybe you think about it just a little bit more than you normally would on a normal day.
Here's the 0-1, swung on and missed. Could be the other factor, too, is maybe Riggleman feels he owes it to him to go at least 5 because the way the Nats are hitting, they might be able to get the lead and get him the victory.
Well, I think the factor is as long as the game is close, that comes into consideration. I mean, when it's close, you do it 1 up, 1 down. Would you do it?
Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's bounced towards first. Derek Lee has it. And they'll flip to Jacobowskis to end the inning. So 2 runs get the Nats back in it. They strand 2. Back-to-back RBI doubles, and the Orioles now have a 1-1 lead. International troop recognition. We serve today for a better tomorrow, and members of our armed forces here at the game as guests of the Nationals being recognized behind home plate in the President's Club. And each day we've been here over the last 3 days, a lot of standing ovations, and rightly so, for those who serve. Father's Day 2011. Hi, Dad. How you doing? There's an Oriole dad right behind the Nationals dad. There's a little guy. Come on, little guy. Get up with the Oriole hat. What are you doing? Get up. Get up. Orioles head to Pittsburgh after the game today. Night game tomorrow on MASN HD. Night game Tuesday. Then an early afternoon game on Wednesday to close it out. The Orioles then head home. Day off on Thursday. And then Cincinnati comes to town for 3. Night games on Friday and Saturday. A day game next Sunday to close out that series. And then following the Reds, it's Albert Pujols and the Cardinals at Camden Yards. Here's Chris Jakubowskis to lead off. Hardy and Markakis to follow. And a tie 1-0. I'd like to see him drag a bunt. What the heck?
I think you haven't seen one hit one in the bullpen.
Who's going to run for him if he bunts?
Zach Britton told me today he got so many calls and messages after his base hit the other night. It was as if it was the first thing he had ever done in the major leagues. Ground ball towards the hole. Base hit for Jakubowskis. The Oriole pitchers have 2 hits in this series. Way to go, Chris Jakubowskis. Help your own cause.
He has that hitter's background. We talked about it all the way through high school and into college and actually into the independent league. He was a first baseman. So I'm sure he's saying, boy, I got to face a tough lefty in my at-bats, but nice, smooth swing. You could tell he has a hitter's background.
And first big league hit, they threw it in the Nationals dugout. Now they're reeling over to the Orioles dugout. And that's a ball he's going to put on his mantle and keep forever. Nice job. And we said earlier, he looks like a hitter. I mean, if you don't know he's a pitcher, you just turned on the game. Good swing.
J.J. Hardy now, as the lineup turns over, takes low. J.J. 1 for 2 today in the series. Now he is just 2 for 11, but he's got 3 RBIs in the series. And there's a strike taken. The National pitchers since June the 10th have been on just some kind of a roll. Their combined ERA 2.22. Just incredible consistency from the Nationals pitching.
That's why we've been saying just a little bit of offense and they'll be the talk of baseball, and they've gotten a little bit of offense the last 8 or so games, and they're the talk of baseball. And so many pitching performances early in the season went wasted because the offense was struggling so much. Now all of a sudden they're getting a little bit of hitting, and they've won 8 games in a row, playing to get to 500.
2-1 fastball for a strike. Hardy didn't think so, and it's 2-2. And the Orioles have gone the other direction. They were within a game of 500 7 games ago and lost in their attempt to get to 500, and they're 1-6 now in their last 7 games. So what the Orioles are trying to do is what the Nationals have done, get that consistency together, the pitching and the hitting. Line drive towards the gap, right center field, and Worth will not be able to get it. Jakubowskis will head towards third as that ball's off the wall. Jakubowskis is being sent home by Russell. Here's the throw, and he is out. And I'm sure with none out in the inning, Russell probably wishes he hadn't sent the pitcher.
I think he was saying it based on the fact that Jason Worth was bobbling the ball once again in right field. And if you've never seen the arm of Danny Espinosa and you don't know that he has an absolute cannon, probably the best arm of any second baseman in baseball, you know, Jason Worth makes a good run for this ball, takes a little funny kick off the fence, bare hand, nice sidearm throw to Espinosa, and watch this throw. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. I mean, if Wilson Ramos doesn't catch that, that's through the stadium into the parking lot. He threw it so hard.
Hardy stayed at second base, so it's a double.
That's about as good a relay as you'll see. Really impressive.
I want the radar gun on the throw from Espinosa. Let's check this out one more time. Check out the arm strength of Danny Espinosa and the accuracy, folks. It doesn't get much better than that.
So the Nats with a stellar defensive play, keeping a run off the board, plus they get an out. As Markakis fouls it back. Nick singled his last at-bat, moved up on an error by Worth. So Nick now is hitting 10 straight games. There's a bloop to left field, but it hangs. Nick's in on it now. Misread it a bit, but he's there for the out. And 2 down here in the 5th inning. Fans Saturday, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over at the O's Cincinnati Interleague game receive the Buck Showalter bobblehead presented by AT&T. Don't miss this instant classic Birdline collectible, plus Cincinnati's first ever regular season visit to Oriole Park. Get your tickets in advance at Save 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com.
It has been kind of amazing how many base hits the Orioles have had in this series and how difficult the runs have been to come by.
Adam Jones now batting with 2 down. And there's activity. Todd Coffey is getting loose.
Big pot brewing.
I passed him in the hallway today. He was walking. No, he was walking. There's an entrance from behind for their bullpen here. And I guess he had a side session today because he was going down to the shorts. I'm looking at this guy is huge. Very polite, though. He said hi. He had no idea who I was, but said hi.
Great guy, always in a good mood.
Hardy at second base, now with 2 down. Orioles trying to get one of those runs back, but again, Gorzelani getting big outs when he needs it. And the throw by Espinosa really helped him out. And as the Nats get an out on the base paths.
Well, it really has been defense to the rescue for the Nationals. I mean, 3 double plays turned. And now just a key throw to the plate. Again, 34 hits in the series for the Orioles. They just scored 9 runs.
It's safe to say that relay, excuse me, Jim, is better than a double play. And whenever you make the first out at home plate.
Yeah.
What's kind of funny about the whole thing, too, is that Jason Worth in the outfield was making the infielder's throw, and then the infielder Espinosa was making the outfielder's throw.
Great point. Yeah, he went sidearm, and Espinosa went right over the top.
Adam Jones down in the count, 1-2. Line to center field, and that's a base hit in front of Bernardino. Hardy's being sent. Bernardino bobbles the ball, and Hardy will score. Bernardino was hustling, trying to get the ball to make a throw to the plate, So that'll be a base hit and an RBI, and the Orioles lead is now 4-2. Big 2-out hit for Adam Jones.
Big time hits in the series for Adam Jones. Low middle of the plate, low rocket to center field. Not sure this ball skips a little bit on Bernardina in center field, and after that, there's no chance. Not with 2 outs.
And Bernardina can throw. I was wondering if he fielded that cleanly. Was there going to be another play at the plate?
Derek Lee batting now with Jones on at first. You know, you wonder with Derek Lee, he has been so incredibly hot. I mean, in this series now, he's 1 out of 2 today, so he's 8 out of 11. You wonder if the home run swing will return, because he has not hit a home run since coming off the disabled list. His last home run was May the 8th. High fly ball left field chasing Nix. That ball is back and over his head, and it bounces against the wall. Adam Jones heading to third. He will be sent home. He will score, and it's an RBI double for the red-hot Derek Lee. And the Orioles lead is once again by 3. 5-2 game for the Birds.
Well, I almost thought you were going to get your wish, Jim. It's been a while for the home run. Gets the bat head out, pulls the hands in. Just a classic swing from Derek Lee, just keeping the head and the hand so still to contact.
And pulling the hands in.
And the ball just kicks out enough towards center field, and once again the relay's off. I'm sure John Russell at third base, his arm's getting a little sore from sending the runners.
So Derek Lee drives in a big 2-out run, and the day is over for Gorzelani. The Mid-Atlantic rivalry this weekend here at Nationals Park. You know, we're featuring an exciting lineup of Dodge and Jeep vehicles. And today, on this final day of the 3-day event, we saved the best for last as we feature the critically acclaimed Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit, the most luxurious, distinctive, and most comprehensively equipped Grand Cherokee ever. And boy, is she a beauty.
I want one of those. That is nice.
That's a sweet-looking vehicle. Well, FP, it's right out there.
I was just going to say, what are you waiting for?
I'll hotwire that sucker and drive it home tonight. Kidding me?
You in your home ballpark here. I don't think they'd notice.
Drive to win. Catch me if you can.
Yeah, just expense it out, and that's all.
Todd Coffey comes on. He inherits Lee at second base for Reimold. So the Orioles, after allowing the Nats to get back in it in the bottom of the fourth, get those 2 right back. And what is huge for the Orioles is both runs driven in with 2 men down. That's what they haven't been getting over the last week. Reimold is 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice on the throwing error by Zimmerman, and then flied out to right. High pop-up left field towards the line. Over is Nix. And he gets there for the out. That was a fair ball. So Reimold is retired. That ends the inning. Well, the Orioles put together a 4-hit inning, score 2, and have a 5-2 lead. Is brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. And by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. Finale of 3, Nats looking for a sweep. Orioles trying to salvage 1 before they hit the Pittsburgh. In our game summary, halfway through the game, the Orioles on 10 hits have a 5-2 lead. Michael Morse stays hot, an RBI double. Derek Lee stays hotter as he has 2 hits today, and J.J. Hardy has hit his 8th home run. He's also doubled, and in this game, really defense, guys, has been a big part of it.
Yeah, it's been outstanding defense. Robert Andino saving a base hit that maybe would have led to a big inning, and then for the national side, just terrific relay from Espinosa on the button, not even close to the plate. May have led to who knows how big of an inning.
So Jakubowski's back to the mound. He had a little time to rest because of the pitching change in the extended inning after running the bases. He'll face Cora, then Worth, and Bernardino. And gets ahead with a fastball.
I'm sure he feels like he was a part of that rally. And that's one thing about playing in the National League when you're a pitcher and you partake in the offense. You feel part of it. American League, you're more of a goalie. You are at the whim of your offense.
Right up to the point where he slid into home. He felt part of the rally.
He went for the grab attack, too. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Maybe he thought he was a goalie.
I like it. He went in hard. Well, yeah, hard for a pitcher.
Yeah. Give the pitcher some credit now.
And Ramos did a real nice job of cradling him so he wouldn't get hurt.
And I think back, my first at bat in the Major League was in the World Series game.
Wow.
This ball lifted to right, playable from Markakis. And Nick gets there. Nick read the swing and initially broke back, but he's such a good outfielder, able to get in on it and grab it for the out, 1 away.
What'd you do?
I hit a ground ball between Billy Stargell's legs, and I thought it should have been a base hit, but I got out on an error.
You went 5-hole on pops?
Yeah. I thought it should have been a hit.
So you hit it hard then?
I did hit it hard.
When you pitched in college, did you hit there?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I did.
When you used to...
I hit in the Cape League.
All right.
I was not determined what I was going to be, even about the draft time, because I was playing the outfield and hitting well and pitching well at the time.
Worth fouls it back. And when you were playing basketball with Julius Erving, did you take him to the hitting cage?
No, believe me, when I played basketball with Julius Erving, I knew that baseball was my future. There was no question.
Yeah, that guy was on to something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he could play a little bit. I could tell when we had 4,000 or 5,000 people for our practices. Wow, that was an indication that he was pretty special.
Now, are you the left-handed shooting guard, or
yes,
you knew with him on the team, you better give him the ball?
Oh no, there was no question. There was no. No.
A ball and 2 strikes with 1 down. Worth has struck out in each at-bat today. And he sees that fastball sail inside. Good take, and it's 2-2. But Jakubowski needs 2 more outs to qualify for a win. There's no bullpen activity behind him. And a fly ball to right. Long run from Markakis, slicing away from him, and it's back out of play. Well, time to get a look at our AT&T trivia fact. Fact number one, Buck Showalter, the 1994 American League Manager of the Year. Let's get number two. And when the season ended, the Expos led Major League Baseball with a 74-40 record. And then there was the work stoppage, and that was the end of that season. No postseason. Showalter with the Yankees at that time. That was his first managing job. He took over in 1992. Mark Connor, who just resigned as the Orioles pitching coach, was Buck's pitching coach on that team. And he got the Yankees to the playoffs, and then he got fired because he lost in the playoffs. How dare you lose?
It's a tough league. Very tough league.
Jason Worth really battling Jakubowskis here with one out. The pitch count is up to 80 now for Jakubowskis. High fly ball, towering fly ball to left center field. Jones will let Reimold have it. And he takes it for the out, 2 men down. Now this is a huge inning, not only for Jakubowskis to qualify for a win, but after he allowed the runs and his team got him right back, you want to have a shutdown inning. Go out there, 3 up, 3 down, get to the bench and let your hitters hit.
Well, that's what Gorzelani failed to do. The momentum was wearing a red jersey. The Nats scored a couple of runs in the bottom of the fourth. You want to get right back into the dugout, keep the momentum on your side, and that didn't happen.
Bernardina takes ball one with Reynolds in tight at third. This ball's hit towards the gap, and a lot of it. Back it goes, and that ball is gone. Roger Bernardina hitting it out, and once again the Nats are chipping back in. It's a 5-3 game. His 4th home run of the year. So 10 home runs now hit in the 6 games by the Nats against the Orioles.
That 1-0 pitch, middle of the plate, middle. Second home run in this series for Bernardina.
Yeah, second hit of the day. All of a sudden, a little life in that dugout.
So Pitch Track brought to you by SAIC. SAIC is holding a career event on June 28th for cleared IT and software professionals. Visit SAIC.com/baseball. Rick Adair out to the mound, and Jason Birkin just did start to get loose in the bullpen. So again, you have the situation here where you want to win the game because your team needs a win. The Orioles would love to see Jakubowskis qualify, but he needs one more out.
Yeah, I think that's at most is I think winning the game at this point.
So it is 5-3. The Orioles lead cut to 2, and Ryan Zimmerman comes up with the bases empty. Jakubowskis now has allowed 4 home runs on the year. This is his 8th game and 3rd start for the Orioles. And he deals high 1-0 to Ryan Zimmerman. A couple of weeks ago, Zimmerman takes a strike when he was in the minors on his rehab coming back from the disabled list. He played for Potomac against Frederick, the Nationals Carolina League team and the Orioles Carolina League team. And Bobby Bundy started the game that night for the Keys. And it was the same day that his brother Dylan Bundy was the Orioles' #1 pick. And we talked to Bobby Bundy the next day, and he said Ryan Zimmerman ate him up. He said, you know, you're looking at this guy, he's a major league star, and you're an A-ball, and you're trying to figure, well, how do I get this guy out? He went 2-for-3, including a double. But he said it gave you an idea of just how good the major league hitters are.
I think that's what it is. When a major league player goes down on some of those rehabs, the major league player is really kind of there to get his work. But at the same time, I think it works both ways. When that major league player goes down there, I think Now all of a sudden he remembers back when I was in the minor leagues. But those minor leaguers, they instantly start to compare themselves to that major leaguer.
2-2 with 2 down. And strike 3 call. Jakubowskis gets the call. Zimmerman didn't think so. And the inning ends. But Roger Bernardina gets into 1, his 4th on the year. And that cuts the Orioles lead to 5-3. Home run cuts the Orioles lead to 5-3. Birds getting set to bat in the 6th inning. And all Orioles full and partial season plan holders, you're reminded that your exclusive State of the Orioles event is all set next Saturday, Camden Yards. All plan holders can enjoy a Q&A session with both Andy McPhail and Buck Showalter. It begins at 4:30 prior to the game against Cincinnati. Plus, full and 29-game plan holders recently received their passes to an exclusive autograph session with the team. That begins at 3:45. The plan holders with any questions, contact your personal account rep, 888-848-BIRD, or go online, Orioles.com/OCP. That is always a lot of fun, and it's interesting because you never know what the fans are going to ask. It's one of the more enjoyable things I get to moderate, because all I do is listen. Sorry, Andy, I didn't ask it. It's going to be interesting to see Buck with the fans. I'm sure he's going to command a lot of attention at that.
Yeah,
this is their first shot, except for FanFest in January. That was the day Buck was egging the Craig on to sign Guerrero.
I think it was a good move.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Orioles trying to get a win. Reynolds leading off, ball and a strike on him. Coffey stays on. And there's a good fastball in the outside corner. Wilson Ramos is very quiet behind the plate, isn't he? Receives the ball very well.
Big target back there. You watch how he sets up. Guys love throwing to him. Always gets a nice low target.
And a foul ball. I wonder, even though the Twins have Mauer, if they regret giving up on him. As we look at the Orioles box score for today, and as it has been very busy with the hits, and the Orioles finally getting some runs for those hits. Even despite 3 double plays and a runner gunned down at the plate, the Orioles have 5 on the board. And 3 of the hitters with multi-hit games. Reynolds fouls it off to stay alive. John Burnett, the lone lefty in the Nationals bullpen, getting loose. The Orioles had in their starting lineup today 2 left-handed batters, but one is Jakubowskis. But his spot is due 4th in this inning, so if anyone gets on, you'll likely see a pinch hitter. Good eye by Reynolds. And Reynolds all of a sudden has his batting average up to 214. You'd still like it to be higher, but he was below 200.
Yeah, he was down
for a long time.
180s for a while. He really has gotten his average up against left-handers too. Up down.
Pulls it foul.
Yeah, well, it seems like even when he gets a hit against the lefty, I think we talked about it before. He had 10 hits, 4 of them home runs, and now 4 of them doubles out of his 11 hits against lefties.
When you start getting over 200 at bats, it is hard to move your average around. Man, that's when it starts to become stable.
And he's at 224 at the moment. He's an interesting hitter to watch, and this is our first chance to see him day in and day out. But he strikes out a lot, but it's more on swinging strike threes. He seems to have a very good, as you look at the double barrel action in the Orioles pen, Jim Johnson and Jason Birkin. He seems to have a very good idea of the strike zone and seems to look over pitches very well.
Yeah, he has good. It seems they're usually deep counts. I mean, it's not 1, 2, 3 and you're out.
And a foul ball, and that one got a piece of Ramos, and Reynolds was fortunate to get a piece of that. Unfortunately, though, it came down and hit Ramos.
And got him on the wrist. You see where he's pointing to right there in the batting glove. I mean, that's the one part that sticks out of your glove. If you're a catcher, just past the palm of your hand, it's exposed. And that was a direct hit.
Pudge Rodriguez on the bench with 2 pairs of sunglasses. When you're going to the Hall of Fame, you can have an extra pair.
Let's check out where it got him. Just a little ricochet deflection off Reynolds' bat. And you see the part of his batting glove exposed. Oh, that's not good.
And he's going to try to stay in the game. And Pudge is looking out just in case. Do I need my gear? Nope.
Well, he auctioned it off yesterday. At the
he doesn't have any left.
Yeah,
right?
He doesn't have any gear.
And Reynolds was trying not to swing at that pitch. The ball ends up hitting the bat, and poor Ramos pays the price for it. So the count holding it 2-2. And a good eye outside, ball 3. So from 1-2 to a full count, it was Todd Coffey having trouble putting away Mark Reynolds. Craig Tatum waits on deck, then Robert Andino for the Orioles in the 6th inning. Sharply pulled foul behind John Russell.
I think he's getting the bat head out on that. Not getting cheated.
The slider isn't there for Todd Coffey again today. He's thrown a couple good ones, but he went 3-2 slider right there to Mark Reynolds, and that just spun right out over the middle of the plate, and he got away with one.
So the 12th pitch in this at bat about to be thrown by Coffey. High fly ball left field. Back on it is Nix. Back it goes. It is gone. It just got over the wall. What an at bat for Mark Reynolds. He hits it out, and the Orioles now lead it 6-3. A 12 pitch at bat, and Reynolds hits it out. He's 3 for 3.
He got away with 1. He didn't get away with 2.
13th home run of the season for Reynolds. Understand this even not that bad of a hanger, but 3-2 looked clearly just throwing it for a strike, and Reynolds gets the bat head right to it, and just enough to get over that into the first row of seats.
Exmo brought to you by the 2011 Jeep Compass. Sharply hit ball. Oh, Zimmerman eats it alive. And gets it across to get Tatum for the out. So the Orioles now, in each of their 2 at-bats following the Nationals scoring, have come right back and put runs on the board. What a play by Zimmerman. Wow.
Nice play, good throw. That's one of those ones where the ball catches you, but he got soft there at the end, gave with it a little bit. Nice hands, set himself, got his feet underneath him, good throwing position. Nice throw across the infield to Michael Morse.
Robert Andino batting now. And he takes a strike, and as I look down, Jakubowskis is out on deck. That doesn't mean he'll hit, but for the moment, he's in the on-deck circle. Double barrel action in the bullpen seemed almost certain he'd be lifted. But if Andino gets on, he could ask him to bunt, save a pinch hitter.
I was saying he may do just that, or he may let him hit for himself.
He's hot.
I'd still take him out.
He's hot.
So he's got a base hit. It's all been good. The Oriole offense scoring in every inning but the first.
There's a ball hit towards the middle. Espinosa plays the short hop and fires to get Andino. I'll tell you what, there's a future star there, Danny Espinosa. He can hit, he can throw, and he can pick them.
Future star and a future Gold Glove. We've been talking about it a lot lately. The in-between hop right there. A lot like Ryan Zimmerman. Soft hands, give on it a little bit. Watch right here. He gets stuck in between. What do? Just get soft for a second. Give with the baseball. You know the ball was hit hard. You know the speed of the runner, so you have time. You have a good arm in your back pocket. You stand up and throw a cannon to first. Nice play.
And Jakubowskis will bat. And he swings through a fastball. Picked up his first major league hit in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2. And there's a bloop towards center field, and that is going to fall for a base hit. The pitcher has a multi-hit game.
Not the pitcher, the American League pitcher has a multi-hit game.
We don't need those guys off the bench. We got Jakubowskis.
Take a day off, laddie. I'm hitting for you.
And now he's got to run the bases again.
That could be the hard part.
Here's J.J. Hardy now with Jakubowskis on at first. J.J.'s had a good game. And he swings through a breaking ball 0-1.
And that was a good slider. That's the slider we've seen from Todd Coffey the majority of this season.
Hardy has homered and doubled. And looks at a pitch on the outside corner. He's down in the count 0-2. So 4 of the Orioles' 9 batters have multi-hit games, and one of them is the pitcher. Hardy towards right center field. Worth is over, and he gets there for the out. So the inning ends, but the Orioles add to their lead. Mark Reynolds, a long at bat. He kept it alive, and he hits it out for Mark Reynolds, his 13th home run, a 6-3 O's lead. Rivalry here today is presented by the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee. The new Cherokee delivers the ultimate combination of real-world capability and on-road refinement. If you're going to be at the ballpark, stop by the displays here this weekend. If you're in the ballpark listening to us, go check it out. Or visit your local Jeep dealer to learn more and schedule a test drive. You'll be glad you did, and you'll probably be behind FP Santangelo.
Yeah, I want that. I still want that. It hasn't changed yet.
So Mark Reynolds with a home run. The Orioles have scored in 5 consecutive at-bats and hold a 6-3 lead. And as Mike Flanagan thought might happen, Jakubowski gets his for himself, and then they take him out of the game. Here's Jim Johnson.
And then got the hook. So in 32 games, Johnson 4-1, outstanding ERA 2.70, 40 innings of work, 28 strikeouts, and just 6 walks. Again, power arm, power sinker, 95, 96, over the top curveball, straight change, slider. He has it all.
Lance Nick's first ball hitting, hits it a ton to center field. Adam Jones will run it down. Let's see if he was blowing a bubble as he got there. One away.
That pitch low middle of the plate. Adam Jones on his first backhanded.
And that is called hitting in the big leagues. That's how center field big leaguers go get the ball. And for Lance Nix today, robbed by Andino, robbed by Jones. That's why when you bloop them in, you take them. You have the swinging bunch, you bloop them in because you're playing against the best defenders in the world every single day.
Michael Morse batting, 1 out, none on, and a breaking ball for a strike. This is the portion of the game which Adam Jones does not have the bubble gum. Now he's on the sunflower seeds. So we didn't see the bubble as he went for it. He changes up. He doesn't like to be stereotyped.
Keeps him guessing.
Yes. He has the gum for maybe 3 innings. Then he goes to the seeds. Then he'll probably go back to the gum.
And you know what? Both are better than tobacco, so nice job.
0-2 on Morse. Oh, fastball blew him away. Wow, Jim Johnson's got good stuff today.
That's that 98-mile-an-hour sinker.
It's amazing when Buck Showalter's able to give these guys 1 extra day how much crisper their stuff is.
Yeah, right over the top. 98 from Jimmy Johnson. That's the thing like we were talking about yesterday. This side of the bullpen, when you have Koji and JJ with a lead, pretty impressive. Both can, especially Jimmy Johnson, can give you those multiple innings. Get you to the 8th or 9th inning.
He's got 2 outs on 4 pitches and deals low to Espinosa.
And that's 97, 98 with a little funk to it.
Oh,
you know, that's just not a smooth arm delivery. And watch the way he brings the arm up to his ear. A little deception in that. That's 98 with hair on it.
Jim Johnson is going to be talked about quite a bit going into this offseason, because there are many in the organization believe he is the best Orioles pitcher overall. He came through the minor leagues as a starter. When he got to the big leagues, he went to the bullpen because there was a need at the time. He had a couple of spot starts where he would come up for one and go back. But you might want to consider putting him back in the rotation with all his stuff. There's a fly ball to left. Nolan Reimold waits for it. He has it for the out, and Jim Johnson has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We played 6, the Mid-Atlantic rivalry. Orioles with the lead. Park. Dads enjoying hanging out, watching baseball with their children. What a perfect way to spend Father's Day. And fans for every Orioles walk this season, CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the Living Classrooms Foundation. To date, the Orioles have drawn 203 walks for a total of $10,150. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Orioles have the lead as we go to the 7th, and a new pitcher on for Washington.
Yeah, Sean Burnett will come out of the Nationals bullpen. 33rd game of the year, 3-3. ERA about 5.5. He's had a couple of save opportunities along the way. Worked in this series, got the win in Friday's game. Actually, he's picked up the win in back-to-back games for the Nationals, Thursday and Friday. Left-handers, as you would expect, pretty tough on him. 205 average.
And a fastball slider change from Burnett. Fastball goes about 88 to 93.
He'll face Markakis, but then back-to-back right-handed batters. And Nick takes 2 tight, 1-0. Orioles again double digits in hits. They have 6 runs on 12 hits. The Nats 3 runs on 6 hits. And there's a strike taken.
And this is not the easy part of the Oriole lineup. Again, today with bunching together Markakis, Jones, and Lee seems to have really paid off in the run production today, as opposed to the last couple of games in the series when they were split.
Bouncer towards the middle. There's Cora behind the bag. He'll get Markakis for the out. 1 away in the 7th. 7 of the 9 starters in this game have base hits for the Orioles. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and Baltimore Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals and Baltimore Orioles. And a nice crowd on hand on this Father's Day 2011. And here's Adam Jones. The only 2 hitters without base hits, Reimold and Andino. Every other hitter, including the pitcher, has base hits. Burnett, the 3rd pitcher used by Jim Riggleman. Took swinging, he went too far, and he's 0-2. Adam now's got a 3-game hitting streak going. And then he has 6 base hits on the trip. And it's down and away. 1-2 the count. The Nationals bullpen, with the power arms that they have and their ability to throw strikes, as Jones fights it off to stay alive, enables Jim Riggleman to go with a bullpen that has just the one left-hander. It's amazing seeing some of these power arms come out of this bullpen for the Nats.
I think when you have power arms, you're able to do it. So it doesn't matter if it's the left-handed. When you have those left-handed one-out guys that they talk about, those Logies, it makes it difficult to match up.
A Logie?
You never heard of that? Left-handed one-out guy?
I like that.
I'm left-handed. I could probably still get one guy out.
Yes, you could.
But recovery time would be significant.
You'd be one of those once-a-month guys.
Yeah.
It's the best job in baseball, but usually when you come in to get that one lefty out, it's probably one of the biggest.
Babe Ruth or
Barry Bonds.
I mean, that's the way it works. And before a series, when you're that one, you pencil the best left-hander on the opposition, and that's who you'll face all weekend.
Yeah, so in the AL East, you get David Ortiz.
Sure.
You get Robinson Cano. Now you get a guy like
Adam Land. Yeah, Joyce.
Adam Land.
And it's usually
that's
late,
your summer.
It's usually late in the game when it means something, right?
They said, "Oh, that's easy. Just get that, one Godzilla out on the other side, no problem." And how hard do you throw? Oh, 80. Go get him.
2-2 is popped, slicing foul down the right side. That'll be back out of play.
I mean, really,
so
play Rapado on our club. You really would consider him. That's the way it is. I mean, with the matchup, and that's what Buck was talking about in certainly yesterday's game, was that matchup when Pudge Rodriguez came up too. I mean, that's the thing. You have to know your role with that. If there's lefty, righty, lefty, which most managers build their lineup to be, you've got to pitch around that lefty, that righty in the middle.
Especially when the guy's on deck as a pitcher.
And that's what Rapado did not recognize. Sharply hit towards short. Cora's there. He gobbles it up. And on 2 groundouts, 2 away in the Orioles' 7th inning. So Adam Jones is retired. You can get live Orioles breaking news coverage. Text Orioles to 29292. Message and data rates may apply. Jim Presley, J.J. Hardy. There's a Skipper Buck Showalter. He's always working the bench.
He's going all Dusty Baker today with the double bands. Double sweatbands.
Prostate Cancer Awareness Day. All throughout Major League Baseball. Let's see if they can get Derek Lee out. Rorzolani got him out once on a double play ball to end the 3rd. He has another multi-hit game. Slow roller. 3-game series here. 3 consecutive multi-hit games against the Nats. I think he has found a stroke.
Well, I think you guys have found a cleanup hitter.
He said, don't go out on the limb.
I mean, this is what the offense was supposed to be like, and this is what you were anticipating Derek Lee would be like when you signed him, right?
Yeah, and for the most part, he's sitting either in front of or behind Guerrero. And Guerrero not. And this is the first time that Derek Lee has batted in that cleanup spot. Partly due for being so hot, partly due to Matt Wieters having the day off, and partly due that, Guerrero in interleague play.
But to me, it gives your lineup so much more depth when he's hitting. I mean, from what you've seen in this series, this guy's locked in. All of a sudden, it stretches your lineup out a little bit.
I'm not suggesting that the Orioles and Andy McBell felt he would be getting 9 base hits every 3 games, but this is what they envisioned when they signed him and Guerrero to add veteran balance and guys who have done it before, track records. As Buck likes to say, flip over that bubblegum card and see what you got. They're finally starting to see that after a real slow start from Derek Lee.
Yeah, it's taken him certainly a while to get going.
He missed a good part of the spring training, easing his way back from that offseason surgery. 3-2, slice to right, Worth back on it. He has a play, and he's got it for the out. So Burnett comes on and has a 3-up, 3-down, 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Fly straight, drink responsibly. Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating. To find a Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating dealer near you, visit MitsubishiComfort.com. By Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. And by Honda, see your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. What a beautiful day in Washington. The reflecting pool Washington Monument in the background. Way behind the Washington Monument, there's the Capitol Dome. And guys, it's been some kind of day.
Yeah, Michael Morris absolutely locked in. He continues to do what he's been doing since May 1st, to double down the line, the RBI. So stay hot, Michael Morris. But there's been a guy on the other side that's been pretty good, too.
Yeah, Derek Lee moved to the cleanup spot for his 7 for 9 coming into this afternoon, and he's done nothing to hurt that. A couple more hits today, a double, an RBI, big RBI in the 5th. And with that multiple run inning in the 5th. Pretty good sign. 6-3, 12 hits for the Orioles. They really pounded out some hits in this 3-game series, but haven't always turned it into runs.
Well, the Orioles have doubled up the score. They have doubled up the hits. And the Nationals committing 2 errors in this game. Jim Johnson had a 3-up, 3-down 6th. He stays on for another inning.
And as we wrap up this series between the Orioles and the Nationals, I didn't know what to expect as a new guy here. When we were in Baltimore, just a tremendous 3-game set. And then you see the scene here right now. I mean, these last 3 games have been amazing. The atmosphere in the ballpark, almost a playoff type atmosphere. And we were talking yesterday about when these teams climb in the standings, how good this is going to be. Well, pretty good so far. I mean, you guys have experienced this before. This is my first time, and I can tell you what, very impressed with the atmosphere, the buzz, and the rivalry that is.
And I'd like to thank, on behalf of Mike, the hospitality that you and Bob have shown us, as Bob sharing the duties with me for the play-by-play. And also want to compliment Masson and both ownerships, the Lerners and the Angelos family, for putting this show on, if you will, because Masson is the only team, the only network with 2 teams. We're the only network that can do this, and really it's a compliment to the management of Masson to bring our families together for these 6 games out of the year. It's really been a lot of fun.
It's been fun.
And Wilson Ramos will lead off here in the bottom of the 7th. And tomorrow in Pittsburgh, Mike is going to keep turning to his right, wondering where you are.
Where you are. Where's the safety net?
I've had enough of Pittsburgh this year. You guys go get them. We got stuck there for 5 days with the rain out where it didn't rain, and then moved a game back to an off day. We could not escape fast enough from Pittsburgh.
Well, thanks. I'm really encouraged now.
Yeah, go get them.
We'll send you text messages of how we're doing.
Yeah, send pictures.
Ramos, ground ball towards the middle. That gets on through for a base hit. So Ramos, first ball swinging. Johnson gets the ground ball, but it found the hole up the middle. Leadoff single here in the 7th. There's a look at the Nationals box score. They've got pretty good balance up and down. Worth, Nix, and the pitcher, Gorzalani, the only hitless hitters in that lineup. And Jerry Hairston is going to come off the bench and pinch hit for the pitcher. He started the first 2 games in the series, and he has been swinging a hot bat.
Is that a big series?
And give Wilson Ramos some credit. He took that foul ball off his wrist. He's still checking it at first base. Got a single after. You were wondering if he was going to stay in the game. Chiefing it out today after taking a nasty foul tip.
So you know those catchers, though, that's kind of a daily occurrence. Just some are worse than others.
Talking it over with Derek Lee. And here's Jerry Hairston Jr. Earned his way to the big leagues as an Oriole. And has really done a very good job later in his career of becoming a tremendously effective utility player. .257 career average, 61 home runs. Now in his 14th season, 356 ribbies. Breaking ball for a strike. Good pitch. 0-2. When Jerry was the Orioles' everyday second baseman prior to Brian Roberts, folks around the team used to cringe whenever he would hit a home run, because Jerry had the small man's body but loved the big man game.
He had a lot of fly balls.
And then all of a sudden he would change his swing. When he's hitting the ball right through the middle, he's very effective, even now.
Just enough pop to get you in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Home run. Here we go. Here comes a 2 for 20. There's Alex Cora on deck. So the Nationals looking for base runners, down by 3. They get the leadoff man on. Need one more to get that tying run to the plate. Johnson would love a sinker and a ground ball to Hardy here. There's the 0-2. Instead, it's lifted to center field, but Jones was shallow. And Adam has it for the out. One away in the National 7th inning. And time for our Corona game flow, brought to you by Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And the game flow today is the Orioles getting consistent hitting while their pitcher, Jakubowskis, gave them a chance to win. And the Orioles chasing Tom Gorzolani in the 5th inning. As the Nats were trying to get the 3-game sweep, and the Orioles trying to get just one before heading off to Pittsburgh. And we're going to have a chat as Bo Porter, the third base coach, calls Alex Cora over.
Now I'm wondering what could possibly be on down by 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Wilson Ramos on first base. This isn't a situation we're going to do anything. Maybe that was about taking a strike to get Jason Worth up. I have no idea.
Again, we talk about it a lot. You want that scoreboard math to have a chance. I'm sure there's maybe take a strike, make him work a little bit.
That's exactly what it was. He squared around right there to take a strike.
Well, he certainly got Mark Reynolds' attention, because as he turned, Reynolds came charging in.
I mean, Jimmy Johnson's only thrown 13 pitches, 11 strikes, and just 2 balls.
And that's outside. Jakubowskis went 5. Johnson's on for his 2nd inning of work. And likely it'll be Koji in the 8th and Greg in the 9th if the Orioles hold the lead. Nats will have a new pitcher on the top of the 8th as Hairston just pinch hit for Burnett. So Burnett will have 1 inning, all zeros across.
It looks rather easy, but he went through the 3 hottest hitters maybe in baseball.
Strike on the inside corner. Wow, what a pitch.
And that's the one you give up. Seems like it's going by you. It's inside, and it comes back and just catches that inside corner. Watch this little delayed movement right to the glove.
Framed nicely by Tatum. Verizon Pitch Track, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. 1-2. And in the dirt, nice scoop there by Tatum.
So catcher's always checking the fingers and the pads, the equipment. It kind of goes unnoticed, pitch by pitch in the dirt. You know, the infielder makes a play or a scoop hop play. It's a big deal. Catcher does it maybe 5 times an inning, it seems like.
Ground ball foul. Unfortunate for the Orioles, it was. There's no way they're planning to hit it that way, and he hit it right down the line.
I mean, his 2-strike approach has been so good all season long. We talked about it earlier, a 2-strike base hit. Watch how simple he keeps it. I mean, look where he is on the bat, choked up all the way. Not a lot to the approach, just keeping his head still and playing pepper. For you kids at home, that's a great approach with 2 strikes. Don't try to do too much. Just spread out and put the ball in play. Good things happen usually when you put the ball in play with 2 strikes.
2-2 the count, 1 on, 1 down. And strike 3 called at the knees. Cora didn't think so. Either he felt it was low or he was fooled by the pitch, because he didn't offer, and 2 men down.
Oh, he's been 96, 97 miles an hour. This may be a 90-mile-an-hour changeup, and I think it's enough off of it. Just have to check. Yeah, I think it's a straight changeup.
That is definitely the bottom of the strike zone if that was a strike.
Rob Drake has had a pretty good day, I think, back there today. He's been very consistent. So 2 down, and Jason Worth takes ball 1.
I wouldn't argue. There's not too many. Most of the strikeouts today, except for what the first one of the game was a looking strike, sometimes indication of a bigger zone.
And Zimmerman struck out looking, and Cora too.
And just trying to look at my score sheet, I don't think an Oriole hitter has struck out today.
And that is correct. What is this? Looking at it, Jim Johnson going, where did you get this stuff? power arm out of the bullpen, and he's got 4. 2 outs. Ramos at first. We're in the 7th. That ball sliced to right, chasing Markakis back. Backpedaling now, and he's got it for the out. So a hit and none left. FP, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you down the road. Good luck the rest of the way. Bob Carpenter joins the fun when we get back. .63. I guess when you're nearing 40 hits for a 3-game series, it's about time the Orioles got some runs, and Mike, they've been able to do that with some clutch hitting today.
Yeah, it's been more clutch hitting today, and I really do think the bunching of certainly Lee Jones and Derek Lee today, the 2, 3, 4 hitters, has really paid off on the offense. They've been getting plenty of hits in the series, and I think also the Nationals defense maybe a little bit today to let them in, let them in the front door. So there's ways to go yet, but so far, so good.
And FP, because of those hitters he talked about, we thought it might be a tough matchup for Tom Gorzolani, who's not the kind of pitcher who's going to throw the ball by people and get swings and misses.
Yeah, I guess a tough return for Tom Gorzolani today. A lot of hits out there. Mark Reynolds having a big day for the Orioles, so it's just one of those things where it's not over yet, but like I said earlier in the game, when you win 8 games in a row at the highest level, it takes a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, a lot of energy to win those baseball games, and usually when it ends, it ain't pretty.
Colin Ballister recalled a few days ago. Haven't really seen a whole lot of him this year. There are times when he gets called up, doesn't pitch, and then finds himself back at AAA. One of those perennial prospects. The guy's got an arm. He can throw the ball hard, but look at that, 95 taken the other way by Reimold on a pitch up. And Nolan Reimold has his first hit of the day, his second of this series. The hits just keep on coming from this Baltimore offense. And Mark Reynolds having a huge day.
Yeah, back in the 6th inning, that's 3-2 slider. Maybe not a lot of finish to it. Ends up in the seats. And yeah, 13 hits today, 8 yesterday, 18 in game 1 of the series.
Mark Reynolds does not have a triple this year. In his career, Mark Reynolds has 10. What he would need for the cycle. So the Orioles have now out-hit the Nationals 13-7. 38 hits in the series. Now Ballister having a hard time getting together with Ramos. All right, time for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game.
Mark
Today's
Reynolds.
Candidates. How about your pitcher with a couple of hits? Chris Jakubakis. I had 4.5 innings off. I got to get back into the swing. And Mark Reynolds and J.J. Hardy. J.J. a homer and a double. Reynolds the 3 hits. Possible cycle. All Orioles right now, and probably the way it should be. Text A, B, or C to 51862.
But I think from certainly the Orioles side, you know, you've lost 6 of the last 7. Nationals have won 8 in a row. You're still not comfortable with it. I mean, this is a 6-3 ball game, even though it is the 8th inning. It's because of certainly recent history.
Yeah, and you have Bernardina, Zimmerman, Nix, and Morse, if any of those guys reaches, coming up in the 8th.
Orioles getting those add-on runs have been huge for them. Ballister goes outside, 2-1.
And usually the Orioles with the lead, it's usually Jimmy Johnson for a couple of innings, and it's Koji usually for the 8th. And if it's a save situation, like Kevin Gregg.
There is Uehara. Runner goes, great jump. Ball deflects. That will be Washington's 3rd error of the day. You can fault the catcher for the throw if you want to, but that stolen base was a runner with Colin Ballister paying no attention to it. Really slow.
Yeah, decent jump right there. You can fault the catcher, or you can look at Danny Espinosa for taking that throw behind the base. So generally speaking, if you get in front of the base, the runner doesn't interfere. There's no way he makes contact right there. So Danny Espinosa feeling the ball in a weird position. Usually the second baseman will get in front of the base and reach back and tag the guy. And I think that's why the ball hit the runner and kicked into left field.
Nationals defense hitting the ground with a thud today after about 6 brilliant weeks. And you're down 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning. Washington has to bring in the infield. That was Ramos' 3rd error of the year. Nationals have made 3. They have 37 now. And Ballister throws a breaking ball away from Reynolds. Strikes him out. Ballister does have that capability. The new midseason flex plan, you can expect flexibility with it here at Nationals Park. Pick 3 games, get a 4th one free in the new era cap. Nationals.com/X for all your details. Next up will be Craig Tatum. In a reserve role, has contributed today. He's 6 for 18 on the year with a couple of RBIs. Ballister throwing a pretty good breaking ball.
Tatum hit the ball as hard as last time up. Ryan Zimmerman made a nice play at third base, so he smoked the ball a couple of times.
By the way, I can understand Mark Reynolds striking out there. Ballister hit him in the helmet with a fastball last year in Arizona. Totally unintentional, late game type situation with a lopsided score, and it was a scary moment for Mark. And I don't know if he had that in his mind when he stepped in, but if you bail on a breaking ball, you can understand that.
Well, you certainly remember.
One ball, one strike. He's got one right now.
And that represents the only strikeout for the Nationals this afternoon.
Another breaking ball. Looks deep enough. Here's Worth. Reimold's coming. Worth launches one. Good throw. Too late. Orioles lead 7-3. And at least for now, that'll go as an unearned run unless they get a base hit here. Top of the hour here at Nationals Park in our nation's capital. Orioles trying to salvage the 3rd game of the series. Even the season series at 3. And if they can win, they'll, at least for one more year, have the bragging rights, 19-17 over the years of this Battle of the Beltways. First pitch out to short, so that will be an unearned run. Cora throws out Andino, and the Nats have a larger hill to climb with 4 good hitters coming up. of the 8th inning. It's never too late for a little snack here at the ballpark on a warm afternoon. You can go cold or you can go hot. How about Tuesday night? We have another dollar hot dog night coming up. We're calling it Dollar Dog Night. Nationals.com/tickets. That'll be Wednesday, Wednesday the 22nd. That's while supplies last. Hope you can join us here at the ballpark. That will be game 2 of the 3-game Seattle series with the Mariners coming in. Felix P.A. will take over for the Orioles in left field as the bottom of the 8th rolls around, and Koji Uehara will take over on the mound.
Yeah, he'll be out of the Oriole bullpen. Worked in game 1 of the series. And usually when the Orioles have the lead, again, it's Jimmy Johnson for a couple. And then Koji usually gets the 8th, and if a safe situation, Kevin Gregg for the 9th. 30 innings of work, just 18 hits allowed, and a great strikeout to walk ratio at 38, and just 6 walks for Koji.
And I would assume when you're trying to salvage a game of a 3-game weekend and it's a 4-run lead, pretty much a safe situation.
Pretty much,
right?
And he hasn't worked. He hasn't worked in the series. Hasn't worked since Toronto. So maybe either way, he has the 9th.
Roger Bernardina suddenly on a home run binge. 3 in his last 4 games. Right off the end of the bat. Took him a long time to get out of the box. And he's safe. He either beat it or Derek Lee came off the bag. Lee confidently threw the ball to the shortstop to throw it around the horn, but he didn't get the call from Gary Darling.
Well, he gave it his best shot. It's going to be a swinging bunt. And Bernardina coming out of that left side. You can see that sideways rotation. And he just beats the throw.
And veteran first baseman will do that. If they know the runner's going to be safe, they'll cheat. They'll come off the bag early, throw the ball around, trying to buy a call. And right there for Derek Lee, it didn't work. Roger Bernardina safe.
Roger Bernardina with a 3-for-4 day. That'll bring in Zimmerman, who's 1 for 3.
That's the thing about Koji. He'll be throwing 88, 89 miles an hour. You won't really see 90 on the gun, but he'll throw, and the hitters react as if it's 92, 93. And there's a real good splitter that he throws for strikes, and just throws a lot of strikes.
Great control numbers. 38 Ks, 6 walks in 30 innings. Zimmerman goes fishing. No chance. 0-2.
There's that 89 mile an hour, and again, it's by you. Hides the ball well. It's a lot of arm motion, the glove, and has that real easy flipper on the end. The thing is, I think he catches a lot of hitters by surprise that haven't seen him, because he throws more fastballs than you expect him to.
And he's going to strike out Zimmerman, who walks away. Some key situations today. The Nationals have walked away from home plate without swinging on strike 3.
Again, 0-2 pitch. Tatum sits on the corner right to the glove. This is what he does to a lot of the hitters. They don't expect them to just keep coming.
And every once in a while, as a hitter, you just have to tip your cap and go back to the bench. When they make a perfect pitch like that on you with 2 strikes, there is nothing you can do about it.
Here's Lance Nix. He's 0 for 3. First pitch swinging a lot. What do they give him? Fastball up and away. I'm not sure I'd ever throw this guy.
I was going to say he's not going to trick it, but then that one was out of the strike zone.
Yeah, either throw it out or bury a breaking ball. But he is easily the most aggressive hitter on this ball club.
Pretty good move to first, too.
That was quick. Bernardina's 10 for 10, but the Nats are down 4.
It doesn't happen a lot. Just a quick kind of step-off move by Koji.
Next up, Morse, who has an RBI double today.
And you can look at the scouting report all you want, and it could say sneaky fast, gear up, be ready early, all that stuff. But until you see it yourself, until you see the release point, the arm action, you face the guy, you can gear up all you want. He's still going to get the ball by you. There's a lot of deception right here.
And Nix will drill one to center that'll move Adam Jones not too far. 2 outs. For the Nationals, Seattle comes in after the off day tomorrow. Levon Hernandez and Doug Fister on Tuesday. John Lennon, Eric Bedard, the former Oriole, on Wednesday. Jason Marquis, Michael Pineda on Thursday. And FP, I know you've been looking forward to seeing that kid throw. And then the Nats move on to Chicago.
6'7", 240 pounds. Got a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Mike, you've seen him pitch this year.
A couple of times. An outstanding slider. And competes and makes good pitches.
I might add that FP's looking forward to seeing him because he's not
seeing him from here. Right. You see him from 7 floors away, he's much easier to get.
Even on TV, he is intimidating. And with Bernardina running, Morse was hacking. Nats trying to make something go here. A lot of the Nationals base runners, even though they're young, Bernardina, Desmond, Espinosa, they do have the freedom to go on their own when they feel okay about it.
Down by 4, you better make it.
You better. And Morse will pop one up. Right side, Derek Lee. Nationals go quietly after the leadoff hit. It's into the 9th. It's been a battle this weekend. Orioles lead at 7-3. Kids are having fun with this rivalry as well. O's caps, Nats caps. Having a big time. Bunch of future dads right there on Father's Day. All right, here's where we are. Chris Jakubauskas, 42%. Mark Reynolds with his big day with the bat, 35. J.J. Hardy trailing. Text A, B, or C to 51862 for the AT&T Player of the Game. Results on O's Extra postgame. Colin Ballister with another inning of work here. Gave up an unearned run in the 8th. Felix P.A. came in on the double switch, and that's the second time in this series he's come into a ball game and immediately gotten a base hit.
Go back to the 3rd inning, the 4th drive of the game. It is J.J. Hardy. Dead center field. Long fly ball. And the Oilers are 6-1 when J.J. Hardy homers, so that was a good omen.
Came relatively early in the game. That made it 2-0. Here's Hardy with a homer, a double to follow in the 5th inning. Nats had handled him pretty well in this series. He had an RBI blue pit yesterday, but in the series coming in, he had a couple of RBIs, but was 1 for 9. Nick Markakis 1 for 4 today, 6 for 13 on the weekend. Ballister making his 4th appearance of the year. It's funny, they did a video last night at the gala. Some of the guys talking about when they got their call to the major leagues. Had they interviewed Colin Ballister, he'd say, I get one a month. He has been back and forth so much. Pitcher with options and filling in wherever needed.
Brad Bergeson with the Orioles has been doing pretty much the same thing. When you have those options left, tend to be on that roller coaster up and down. Never happy going down, always in a hurry to get back up.
1 ball and 2 strikes. I've never seen Colin Ballister throw as many breaking balls as he is today. He's got 95. I don't know, maybe that Nolan Reimold turning around his fastball thing leading off the 8th didn't exactly turn it around, but hit it hard the other way. He's gone to a lot of breaking stuff since then. Runner going, fastball up, throw into the runner, and only the fact that it stayed close enough for Espinosa to get it saves the Nationals from their 4th error of the day. So the Orioles running are turning the tables on Washington here.
You look at throw from Wilson Ramos. He's been great all season long. A couple of bad throws today, and that was not anywhere near. Just rushed a little bit, got inside of it. The throw ran back toward the second baseman. And that's a guy that's been fantastic behind the plate with his throws all season long, having a bad day today. And that's called baseball. And we've been spoiled for a long time watching this team play some spectacular defense on a nightly basis. And, you know, that's part of the game. When you play 162, there's going to be games you want to forget, you know, as an individual and as a team. And that's called playing baseball. It just happens some days.
Yeah, you just really don't know when you go to the ballpark what is going to happen.
3-2 now with nobody out. Ballister with another bender outside. 2 on, none out. That'll be his first walk. He'll face Markakis. Jim Riggleman had a tough decision to make back there in the 4th inning. He let Gorzolani hit with 2 on, 2 out in a 3-2 game, not knowing he would then go out to the mound and give up hits to 4 of the next 5 batters.
And that's one of those many hundreds of decisions, it seems like, the ones you make and the ones you don't make during the course of a game. We talk about a lot of at bats even in this series early in the game that are going to determine the outcome.
And a slow roller right side. Espinosa will get the middle runner. And out at second base will be Hardy, with PA over to third and Markakis reaching on the fielder's choice.
And the only reason you even speculated about that at bat in the 4th by Tom Gorzolani, do you pinch hit for him or do you not, is because, you know, he was on a pitch count today. He's coming off the DL. Generally speaking, very rarely do you pinch hit for your starting pitcher in the 4th inning, especially in a 1-run baseball game when you're hoping he can go back out for the 5th, get himself a win, get himself, you know, on the good side of a decision. But the fact that he was on a pitch count today, coming off a sore elbow, you were kind of wondering right there. The Nationals seem to have the momentum. And Jim Riggleman's a manager that usually captures the momentum when his team is going well and, you know, they're starting to press on offense. He'll steal, he'll take chances. And, you know, the only reason we talked about it today is because of the fact that Gorzolani was coming off the DL.
At that point of the game, he had thrown 59 pitches, 35 strikes. Not a lot of pitches for 4 innings, but it was the 3 double plays that saved him a ton of pitches in the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th.
Yeah, that certainly played well into it. And I think, again, you know, I think the intentional walk to Ramos before it, he's sort of calling the bluff. Okay, let's play. What do you want to do?
Zimmerman relays to Espinosa. That's a pretty 5-4-3 double play as the Nats go around the horn, and they have one more chance, but they're down by 4. Some good defense after a day of not so great. And right now, Koji Uehara still in the ball game and coming up. Nets Extra on MASN HD. O's Extra, MASN 2 HD. Lots of highlights from this one as the Orioles go double-digit hits again. Interviews, player reaction. You'll hear from the managers. It's all coming up on O's and Nats Extra. By the way, the 3-game series draws 107,615 for an average of 35,872 per game. Well done, O's fans. Well done, Nats fans. It's been great having them here all weekend long.
And that is why interleague play is going nowhere.
You got that right. We can complain about the scheduling and everything all we want. The answer to that is 2 syllables. Cha-ching. Danny Espinosa, 1 for 3 with an RBI double. He's 3 for 12 with that 1 RBI on the weekend. Played a lot of stellar defense, though. The Orioles would tell you that. He hits one to right field, heading for the curly W. See you later. Into the bullpen. Now it's a 3-run game. Espinosa's 13th, tying him with Michael Morse for the team lead.
Well, the one thing you knew from this team is they were going to die hard in the 9th inning. You win 8 games in a row, you're not going to go down quietly. And for Danny Espinosa, just keep adding to it. 13th home run of the year, 42nd RBI of the year, 43rd RBI of the year, and he got all of that one. I mean, this guy's making a push for Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt about it. The numbers are there. The average is climbing. The defense has been there. And he just keeps on keeping on.
We're going to pause in the action here. There's some kind of white metal bar that's been raised out behind the batter's eye in center field when the umpire can't see it anymore. We'll continue. Let's go Nats now, they're hollering. It's a big hill, but not as big as it was a moment ago. Here's Ramos. One ball, one strike. Matt Stairs next for the pitcher. Ramos pulls it. And Mark Reynolds has plenty of time for that one for the first out.
Get back to that Espinosa at bat, Mike. That may be one of those where you're asking guys that face the pitcher already, you know, what's he got? Sneaky fast, gear up. And regardless of the scouting report,
get it ready.
You start talking to your teammates on the bench that have faced him already. So, you know, maybe you talk to Zimmerman, maybe you talk to Nix. On the bench between innings, what does he have? His fastball says 88, but it's a lot harder than that.
Matt Stairs has never been able to really get it going for the Nats this year. He's had some good swings lately. As a pinch hitter, 4 for 30 without an RBI, 5 for 41 overall. And that will be 4 for 31 as a pinch hitter. Adam Jones for the second out. The Nationals with Alex Cora down to their final out for the weekend. Alex Cora 1 for 3. Washington enough hits to score some runs today. 9 hits, 4 runs. But just too much Orioles offense today. 7 runs on 14 hits. Baltimore, 39 hits in the 3-game series. Hard to believe they're going to salvage just 1 game out of this.
Well, sometimes it's not about how many hits you get, it's when you get your hits.
Ground ball, it's over. Orioles take care of business today and win it 7-4 to salvage the final game of the 3-game series and keep the Nationals from extending that winning streak and keeping Washington from reaching the 500 mark. For Jim Hunter, Mike Flanagan, and FP Santangelo, Bob Carpenter, the Orioles win it 7-4. Next game for the Orioles tomorrow night in Pittsburgh. The Nats host Seattle here Tuesday. This has been a presentation of Masson from the booth. So long for just a while.